All rise for the RankKing's court.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. A wonderful Halloween season to you all. It is time for the RankKing's court, joined as always by Noble Knight Greg and Oracle Vo. RankKing's court is on, people. What is going on?
We're back for another week, another episode. Still here.
We did not get canceled.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We've been saying that for what, 50? This is the 53rd episode now,
Yeah,
right?
50 episodes, so
50-something episodes, yes. We have not been canceled in any way. So
I'm honestly shocked, Austin. We made it this long.
I'm shocked. I would have thought you'd say something that would have gotten us kicked off by now.
Oh, he was suspended a couple times.
That's
Remember
true.
that?
Well,
Yeah.
suspension is different than cancellation. It's like a nice slap on the wrist, basically.
Yeah. What's up, Foreigner?
Oh, Foreigner in the chat as always. Love that, my friend. It's really hard to get canceled when you have a beautiful Coors Light here. We love Coors Light. Always a pleasure to drink, which if you guys haven't gotten these yet, the pure ones, I've been preaching this a lot. They're pretty damn good.
Now, Austin,
I love them.
Austin, I've not had any Coors Pure yet, but I would love to have some this weekend if possible.
I have plenty left.
I would
He bought the whole store.
I would love
He
to
has
try. I
everything.
would love to try some this weekend if you would be so kind.
I would gladly bring some. Although I will say, though, I did go to my Speedway. They do not have any Coors seltzers.
Fucking Butler.
I think they're out. I think I had the last case of them. I should have sold it to you or something.
I ain't buying anything from you, no matter what the hell it is. Yeah, gotta love the sponsorship. We love Coors. Hear that beautiful. Oh, it's just beautiful.
That was crisp. That was very
nice.
crisp, actually.
It was pure.
Crisp
Pure.
lime taste. I think, what is it? Oh yeah, no sugar. That's the big thing. Which God only knows. I don't need any more sugar.
You
'cause
definitely do
Definitely
not.
not.
No,
Definitely
you
not.
don't need more sugar in your life, bud.
We have plenty of sugar coming our way in the form of what our episode is going to be.
Well, I was gonna say you also get enough sugar from your girlfriend as well, but that's besides the point.
But first,
Mm-hmm.
where are we tonight, Greg?
I mean, Austin is at his lovely apartment in a disclosed location north of the city of Pittsburgh. In case anyone was curious about that, yeah, we won't give the town. It's a.
I feel like you always give the town.
Well,
but-
I say the county.
Yeah,
We don't know.
okay,
I
that's
don't
fair.
give the town.
That's
It's
fair.
different. That's different. But
It's a mystery.
RankKing's Court is live today from Union Fitness Studios, located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym. It's a place where you can transform yourself inside and out, with a variety of classes based around fitness, yoga, strength, and performance training. At Union Fitness, they believe that it is their duty to hold themselves and their clients to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values to make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today to sign up for a consultation through Union. There is strength.
Did he freeze?
I think he froze, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Austin,
Oh,
come back.
Austin.
Is he just playing with us?
No way. He's not that still. Yeah, he's frozen.
Oh no.
Oh man, we're off the rails already.
I should just let him.
You know
Let him
what?
stay like that.
We should. It'd be funny as hell. You know what? I'm gonna blame the county that he's in right now. Screw you,
Yeah.
Butler County.
Let's see if we can get him
Freezing
back.
our friend. The hell's wrong with you? This is a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm blaming Butler County. Butler County just basically ruined our show.
Let's
This is the first time he's ever had this happen to him too.
See if he joins back.
I-
Let's cut the commercial real quick.
Yeah, let's cut the commercial.
We'll be
and
right
hopefully-
back, guys.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
let's dive right into sports, as I have strong opinions on that. Which college team could beat a professional team in the same sport right now?
Okay.
There is not a single answer that is better than the LSU Tigers defeating the Cincinnati Bengals.
Even if I know the pitch that's coming, every other part of me is still normal.
That's why it's frustrating for me, Greg.
It's like okay, if I know what something is coming, I know ahead of time. I still have to be able to do the action to get the result that I need.
Okay, so they won 3 games in 10 years with 3 rebuilds.
I don't lose at arguments. All
Especially
right.
about fast food, so yeah.
You will never walk alone. Guess what? Now you will. Coronavirus.
I barely touch my girlfriend's cat. The most I'd be willing to do is like just kind of put my finger on its forehead and just like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with us is Alex Kazor from Steelers Depot.
We are live with Ryan Smith, professional cornhole player in the ACL. Ryan,
What all franchises were you able to work with in the NHL?
With Phoenix, Carolina, and Detroit.
So here is Moorhead's ranking. Moorhead is my cousin. He is the rank king.
Higher on
Top
us.
10 extra Power Rangers.
Oh.
This is the top 10 emo songs of the 2000s.
There's only one correct answer for number 1. Why is F is for Family better than Futurama when Futurama is like Star Wars for potheads? Like
I know.
Well, I think
We have one or two that are mad in the chat.
you're welcome for that.
Okay, we're gonna get banned.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Vault, the weekly show from Thoughts from the Bench that takes a look back at some of the best and worst sports jerseys of all time.
So, I looked up what a Canuck was. Ben, you're gonna shit yourself. What a fucking silly country.
Here comes the
Wow.
Crimson Chin.
No. Sound like the John Candy in a fucking snapshot.
That's Uncle Buck.
I have an irrational fear of alligators and crocodiles. I hate them.
Wait, what? Of like, okay, this school who looks like they're in High School Musical just came and balled out. So yeah, they're not drinking Gatorade or water on the sidelines. They just got bottles of Barbicide and they're just fucking tanking them down, dude. Like that guy who's nodding his head. Okay, where's the keg at? You know, like that type of guy.
Yeah.
Like
He's a glue guy. He's a glue guy.
Okay, he's a glue guy.
I want to show off the human goose that is Mike Glennon.
Oh my god, he is a goose.
They're like mom jeans with the elastic on top. Like, I don't...
I'm okay. I'm okay. He's a man of the people. He's in with the students at games and sporting events. He's posing with the frat boys. He's getting pumped up, literally
Dude,
and
no.
metaphorically speaking, for every event. He is Dartmouth.
What?
That was really funny.
Football's the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell.
JJ Watt, bring it
Golgi
on over,
apparatus.
pal. Bring it on over. Golgi apparatus, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum. I'm just naming off science shit now.
All right, so welcome back, everyone. If you haven't noticed, I am on a different device, and I apologize to the viewers and everyone, but it appears that my internet just shit the bed. I don't know why.
Could be the ghost.
Could be the ghost.
Could be
but
haunted.
all I'm saying is, every time they try to pull me out, they pull me back fucking in.
He almost, you know what it was? We were talking about him getting canceled, and that was just like
They
fate
They
tried to cancel him, and it just didn't happen.
Oh my gosh. But yes, I'm glad that people know where, the RankKing's court is taking place, because, where I'm at, it's maybe not so great right now, but who the fuck knows? But it's not going to deter us from our awesome Halloween special we have for you guys. We just won't go to commercial break anymore.
No, we are commercial free.
The commercials.
We are commercial free for the rest of the time. We will not be deterred the rest of the way. I love that word, Austin.
And we get a nice new angle of the ranking.
Yeah, you know what? This might be his best angle, actually.
You see my double chin?
I wasn't
you see
pointing...
the other side of the crown, so we can see it goes all the way around your head.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super glued on,
not a
but
little tiara.
It's tight.
It is fairly tight today, but yeah, we're back. So let's get into this right away with our first radical ranking of the evening. Sorry, I just take a sip of our glorious sponsor Coors Light. But we are back, and we are talking the top Halloween traditions. Now, Greg said something to me before this show had started that said he really didn't know if there were any, like, I guess you would say, what's the word you used? Sentimental traditions of Halloween?
Traditions. So here's what I say about that. So, like, when I think of, like, traditions, I immediately think of Christmas and Thanksgiving. I think of, like, because there's usually family involved, there's usually, like, all these other stuff that kind of comes from it. Or, like, you develop stuff as you get older. Halloween, I don't really get that vibe from. Halloween, I kind of get the vibe that it's a cool holiday. Everyone looks forward to it and stuff like that. But in terms of, like, traditions that you kind of, like, hang your hat on that's, like, special to you or anything like that, there's not really much that goes into it. Like, trick-or-treating, I don't even know if you would consider that necessarily tradition. That's more of just, like, that's like a guaranteed event that will be occurring.
I guess.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I said to turn up the brightness of my phone since I'm used to this whole cellular thing now.
Well, you got to make sure that your face is well lit, bud. We understand that. Don't worry about it. There you go. Make sure you
couldn't be any more lit.
Make sure you submit your video to Smalls, by the way, for our special project that we'll be releasing next week.
Yeah, I will. I know. I need to get that in. But yeah, man, let's get on it. The top Halloween traditions. I consider these all traditions.
Okay.
I do them almost every single year, and they hold a very special place in my heart, considering that Halloween is my number 2 holiday ever. So
number 2?
Yes.
I thought it was your number 1.
Nah, dude, Christmas. Come on.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know about that.
Know?
We started the show with a Halloween episode last year. Because
that's
you love
around
Halloween.
the time we started, so take it as you will.
Can you see that comment?
No, I can't see any comments. So you guys are gonna have to read the comments for me. So.
Okay. My friend Sean said, "I'm here to say Voe used to drink orange juice with freshly baked chocolate chip cookies."
He did that.
That was one time. And I did not dip the cookies in the orange juice. I just ate them separately.
Austin, he clearly did that while he was running around outside and avoiding all.
Yeah,
He's one
of my friends that we grew up playing outside. We didn't watch Pokemon or any of that nonsense you talk about.
Fucking weirdos with your OJ and cookies and playing.
That was
outside.
100%.
It was one time.
That was 100%. Like, do you remember? You guys remember like in the old days where you were like working outside, or you were playing outside, and your mom would come out with a tray of like refreshments.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened with Bo, is that after he was done playing outside, he got a nice tray of homemade chocolate chip cookies and freshly squeezed orange juice.
That's because
he would dip his cookies in.
I don't like milk. Never really liked milk. So I needed
well,
something
it's
else.
not
even chocolate milk?
I do like chocolate milk, but like me and milk don't get along all the time. I'll put it like that.
That seems more like an almond milk situation than anything.
Yeah. You're an oats milk or whatever, but we are straying away from the topic, so let's get into it. The top Halloween traditions. Number 5 is your classic Halloween party. It has been a tradition every single year that I go to at least one Halloween party, and I see all the nonsense and the belligerence that goes along with Halloween parties. I've been to one where we had a bobbing for apples, but instead of it being water, it was vodka. So that was interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Very painful in the eyes. So just
no shit.
dip your...
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, no one told us it was fucking vodka, and then we tip our head in.
Oh, you had no idea?
No, I
Oh my God.
took my head out, and I was like, shit, like it hurts. They're like, yeah, it's not water. I'm like, why would you do this?
Why not?
But, because I mean, I guess that goes along with like a tradition I didn't put on here, which is pulling pranks. It's not a big one, but like you consider that more of like an April Fool's thing. But Halloween is the time for mischief and understanding, and that goes along with Halloween parties, man. To see the ridiculous amount of costumes that people will wear. You always have the people that dress scary. You'll always have the people that dress, to try to be the funny guy.
Yeah.
And then you have people dressing from like the references of pop culture in that year. Yeah. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great.
It's always a good idea.
And they're all well dosed with heavy amounts of alcohol, Coors Light especially. So
you want to read 4 and just comment?
Well, I was gonna say real quick, you should have a tub of vodka this weekend.
Well, now I know I got to play some pranks on Austin.
Yeah. Grind Project says, I only go if there's slutty nurses. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that, but ain't nothing wrong with that.
I don't know if anyone wants to take your temperature. We'll move on to number 4. And a personal favorite of mine, I mean, I do this every single day, I think almost, but especially during Halloween season. And 4 is watching scary movies.
Greg's favorite.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Austin, is there any scary movie in particular that you feel like you have to watch during this time?
See, you're jumping the gun, Greg.
Okay.
I will bring that along later, but it's a great question, and I will be happy to answer it just later.
All right.
Scary movies are perfect for this time. Literally, I remember back in the old days when I had On Demand at my parents' house, and there would be a selection that would come on demand. I think it was called FearNet. I think that's what it was. And they would have specific horror movies designated per month. And honestly, it's great to have just watching horror movies all the time, but Halloween especially, because the amount of like gross, grotesque, like everything that makes things go bump in the night originates in Halloween. Like I love excuse me, gotta love the Coors bubbles on that one.
So pure.
But you just have to love the aspect of horror films. And I love, especially during Halloween, you're not by yourself. You're actually like mostly with friends when you watch these films. But if you're like me, you just watch them on the regular because, this crown gets a little too tight for my head. It makes me a little weird sometimes. So I love to do it.
Blood
but
flow,
just seeing people's reactions when watching scary movies is absolutely hilarious, because it takes quite a lot to scare me in a scary movie. It doesn't necessarily do that with a lot of other people. They'll jump at the nearest thing. And then when, someone pops out, I'm the person in the background saying, hi, welcome to Chili's or something stupid like that, just to ease people back. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, most of the time I get scared from the people's reactions because that's more scary than the movie itself.
Yeah, it's a basic domino effect that works with that. I get that entirely, Bo. We'll move on to our number 3. Sadly, one I just don't think I had time to do this year, and it sucks. More or less just on the financial side, because they're getting more and more expensive each year. But haunted houses at number 3.
Is there one in particular you like the most, or?
See, I've always wanted to do the basement. I've never done it before.
I haven't either.
I think that they had to hold off, obviously, when COVID came around, because they're literally like in your face the whole time, and they are allowed to touch you. Like you literally have to sign a waiver. Mm-hmm. So these people are okay to know that they're okay to like screw with you. I don't know if Steph did it. I know that she's been talking about doing it, but I know that haunted houses for me hold a special place because they just get you in the mood, and they get you in the mood for Halloween season.
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows, this kind of goes along with the whole haunted maze, haunted corn hay rides. All that is kind of roped into this. So don't feel bad if I didn't put those on here, because it's essentially the same thing. I don't know how many times that I've had to ride a haunted hayride just to go
to the haunted house.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a couple comments here. Mr. Elsas 77. He says the ranking can't handle the basement. I don't know who that guy is.
I don't know either. Yeah,
but
But also,
I don't know, Austin.
But also, someone Fornger writes, and fuck that noise. You're insane.
Yep.
Listen, I'm trying to always up the ante of how I can push myself to actually get scared again. Because I don't. I mean, granted, there are times where I like wake up in the middle of the night just because I'm essentially just with Bree and that's it. Like, and I hear a noise and I'm always just like, what the hell is that? But I don't
get
hide.
ready.
I'm
It's the fucking cat. That's exactly what it is.
But I don't. Yeah, that's part of it too, which doesn't help. But I'm never the one that's just like hiding. I go and I'm like, what the fuck is that thing? Whoa, bad vibe kind of thing. Like I'm always willing to at least go check and see what is wrong with that. But yeah, haunted houses, man, they hold a special place. There's actually one.
Oh, go ahead. Or do you want me to go?
No. There's actually one that I've wanted to do. It's a haunted. It's a hayride, but there are paintball guns strapped to the hayride, and there are people that are zombies, and your goal is essentially almost like a video game. Is you're shooting the zombies as you go through. I would love to see, because I would go like full on blast. Like a zombie tries crawling up, I just kick it off and just start like shooting like Rambo style.
Yeah.
And like it turns out to be like, the one little kid next to me is like, what the fuck? Like, what? This guy's too into it, and I want to be into it. That's the whole point of doing it. If you're not into it, then go to the damn.
I feel like part of the fun is people's reactions during haunted houses. Like we went to Fright Night a couple weeks ago, and Morgan was leading the way, and she's walking through like, I'm on high alert, like saying that to the actors. Like she made one actor like start cracking up because he was not expecting her to say that.
Like I'm always the one I feel like leading the way. I think she led the way like one time, and like something like rustled through the cornfield, and she was like, no, I'll go.
I don't like leading the way because I'll go the wrong way or something.
Right.
Like I just don't. When it's dark, I can't see anything. Like
my preference is always when like the people with the, I quote unquote say chainsaws, because they take the chains off of them, and they just like put the chainsaws. Everyone's like, like, they're not actually, what the fuck? Like, they're not actually going to do it. Like, come on.
Grind Project wants to know if you believe in ghosts.
100%. And apparently so does Sam Darnold, the way he's been sucking, but that's another conversation.
Wow.
We'll move on to our number 2 Halloween tradition. One that I actually have been doing since I wasn't really a big fan of it growing up, but, starting new traditions, Bree and I have been doing this quite a lot. Number 2, carving pumpkins.
Yeah. Before we move on to this one, we have a couple more comments. That Elsas guy said he's more afraid of Morgan than 90% of haunted houses. S. Hassan says scariest thing about Kennywood's Fright Nights are the ticket prices.
You're not wrong on that. You're not wrong on that.
It was like $35 for the ticket,
Jesus
and we got the
Christ.
fast pass, which was $35 more.
My God.
Oh my God.
Foreigner says he always leads the way in dark mazes.
I hope you have great vision, bud.
Yeah. The one time we went through a corn maze, and I grabbed a piece of corn and put it in the car, so Foreigner thought it just randomly appeared in there. He was a little spooked, but he realized it was me. So,
what the fuck is that fucking thing? Whoa. But yeah, carving pumpkins. This is my second time that I did it, and I did it in the shape of one of my pop culture ghosts that I put on. I did a Gengar pumpkin this year.
And it was badass, actually.
It's hard. It was hard, man. Like, I'm not joking when I say that I was sweating doing this thing. Because, one wrong move and the whole thing is fucked. And, compared to what I did last year, I did a bat. I was like, it's my first time doing it. Like now I'm obviously very rusty. I'm going to get into it, just work with something easy. I challenged myself a lot this year, and I was actually the last one done with my pumpkin. And I have a whole family that's just kind of watching me, and I'm just sweating with this. I kind of just, and I'm just like, what are you looking at? Let me be. What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
Yeah.
I'm just fucking getting
I've
into
never
it.
actually carved the pumpkin. We've always painted them, like when I was growing up. We never carved them, but me and Morgan are gonna carve pumpkins this Friday, I think.
Nice.
Ooh.
So first
Do you have
time.
any idea what you're gonna carve?
Well, we got like a pack and it has like different images on there, so I'll start with that. I'll pick one of those ones out. What about you? Did you ever carve pumpkins?
Nah, never been my thing. Yeah.
Paint them?
I'm gonna carve a Greg pumpkin next year. I need a I need
That's
an
also
outlook
true.
of
That
Not
my
wrong.
parents don't trust me with sharp objects.
I'm
That's
not
why we paint
surprised.
pumpkins.
I'm not surprised.
And then finally, we have our last and probably the most important Halloween tradition. Not a lot of us can do it now, but it was a big thing of when we were growing up, and that is trick or treating.
This was always a good one. I feel like this is the main Halloween tradition.
It's literally
Not
what
for
like.
Greg.
I never said that.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell. You don't like candy.
Yeah, now I'm not a big candy person, but yeah, when I was growing up, sure.
I don't know, man. I firmly believed I enjoyed the aspect of just dressing up and going in and just being. I hated the fact, and we'll get into this in the next radical ranking, the shitty things that you would get when you were like trick or treating. That always bugged me. But I enjoyed seeing just what everyone was doing, like what everyone was like dressing up as. Obviously, It's gone down a little bit just from the amount of people that did it when we were younger, and now being kind of, I guess, in the eyes of the Gen Z children or whatever, I don't want to call them, but it's kind of like lame, so to speak. But I will always appreciate this tradition so much.
Is there any candy in particular that you hated getting when trick-or-treating?
Whoa. And he strikes again, because this is getting into, as I drink another.
That was a big slurp.
Cleanse my palate, gotta love it. We are getting into the second radical ranking. There are just some things that you shouldn't fucking get in your candy pack. And I did this. I didn't do this, but I did like the top 10, like I think best candy. And I think I did like a candy something of last year that was good. Never gone into the worst candies. And I want to assure both of you, I got every single one of these. So this is not just.
So before you get into this, you're not doing any bullshit where you're putting like fruits or like.
Nope.
No,
Greg,
it's
these are all
candy.
It's real candy. Okay, this isn't like.
Yes.
Okay,
but before we jump into that, if Sean's still watching, he would remember this. There was one lady on our street that would give you like a book, a children's book. You go down, she'd have a whole box of them, and you have to pick a book, and you get like a little piece of candy. And that was every year she had them.
Education and sugar. Yeah. Who doesn't love that?
No, I would be, if you guys have ever seen the Simpsons movie, I was elected to lead, not to read. Like that is what I'm thinking here. But yes, I want to assure you, I got every single piece of this candy at some point in my life, and I've hated every single one of these.
All right.
And I've wanted to egg somebody's house so fucking bad because of this.
Now I know what to get them.
Oh, I'm excited now. Let's see.
Number 5. For a candy that's entitled. Here you go. You need Jesus. You need Jesus. Jesus. It's like all that TikToking. Good Lord, child, you need some Jesus. But yeah, all these candies I fucking hate. I've gotten them. Let's start off with number 5. Smarties. Fuck these
Smarties
things.
suck. Yeah,
I actually like Smarties.
What? They taste like nothing.
It's just sugar.
It's not even great
like sugar.
If I could label this, it's like the sugar that you would get after you would eat candy, and it would be stuck on the couch for weeks, and then you grind it up even further and mold it into a fucking small ass disc and put them in, and they're like, hey, if you eat these, you'll get smarter. You no.
Yeah, Alsace is saying you're dumbies.
No.
Dummies.
No, Smarties suck. I'm sorry.
They make you smarter.
Oh, bullshit.
Smart water does that too. Wash it down, you'll get even dumber. We'll move on to number 4. God forbid anybody that does this now, because you deserve to be egged. Dots. Fuck you people that hand out these
stuck in your teeth and everything.
Yeah.
It's not even enjoyable to eat. It's like you eat one and you're picking it, like you said, you're picking it out of your teeth. 3 weeks later, the dentist goes, getting all this candy. Like, yeah, no, I had a good. No, you actually have some still stuck here. And he pulls out a fucking little piece of green dot.
Pulls out your tooth.
Or the filling that you had back there, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's stupid. These literally virtually have no flavor, and the flavor they do have is watered down fruit flavor to the point where I want to gag myself.
He really hates these candies.
These are still sold in like big boxes too at movie theaters too. So
they don't need to be. That's the problem. It's so fucking irritating. We'll move on to number 3.
He's getting really heated about
I love this ranking
I
right
love
now.
how passionate he is about this one. This
He's
is
fired
great.
up right now.
It is funny that we say heated and fired up. I got these, I want to say when I was 8 years old. And I remember that being like, oh, great. This candy's kind of good. And then I eat one. Number 3, hot tamales. Who the fuck is passing out hot tamales on Halloween?
To little
they
kids.
Exactly. They're cinnamon to the fucking max fiery candy. Now, granted, I have a bit of a spice tolerance. I can handle it now. But at 7 fucking years old, I ate one, and immediately it's almost like that video of the cat with the pistachio ice cream. It goes, that's what it was.
I would argue, Austin, that this is what was used to help get you ready to enjoy Fireball.
I don't enjoy that at all either.
That's why you hate Fireball.
It's exactly. And it says, America's #1 cinnamon candy. How many cinnamon candies can you think of, people?
Big Red.
There's not too many.
Is Big Red cinnamon?
Yeah. I don't know if it's candy though.
There's Big Red, and then there's what are those? The Fireballs. What the hell are those called? Are they just called Fireballs?
I think
I might be
they're just Fireballs.
I think they're just Fireballs. Yeah.
Yeah, those are fucking trash too. Like why are you handing out those to kids? Like, no one's gonna like that, and you're doing it to say, "Oh, I passed out candy." You deserve to be fucking egged until there is yolk still coming out of the goddamn windows.
Yeah, Austin, he looked it up. It's Atomic Fireball is what it is.
Okay. Number 2. I can't stress enough to how fucking bad this was getting. It was like, reach in and just take a handful. Double bubble gum. Who in the fucking hell? Like,
Clint Hurdle. Clint Hurdle loved double bubble.
Baseball players love double bubble.
Yeah, that's true.
I get gum. I do. These things were literally like fucking. What is that? The gum that literally lasts like 3 seconds.
The zebra one. Do you remember the zebra gum?
Juicy fruit.
Thank you.
Juicy fruit. Yeah.
It's like
fruit, yeah.
It's worse than juicy fruit. You put that in your mouth and you chew for 10. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I got gum. Oh, that's what it literally feels like. And it's like, oh yeah, these kids, they can eat candy and all this. Here's it's literally a fucking abomination of candy.
I actually didn't mind double bubble either. I mean,
No,
I was more of a Big League Chew guy. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
Big League Chew's okay because you get a giant pouch of it and you can stuff how many of it you want. You're like, look at me, I'm fucking chewing tobacco. Man, it's fucking fun. Like,
I don't spit all my gum like that, like some people. But hey, you're wrong.
Fucking works. But yeah, double bubble gum, the absolute of fucking chewing gum for candy. And finally,
let's see if Greg can guess it.
Wow. Is it Tootsie Rolls?
It should be an obvious one.
Tootsie Rolls?
Yeah, like the mini ones.
Nope.
No? Okay.
I'll have you know that was 6 though.
I'm not.
Of course it was.
Was it Milk Duds?
No.
No?
Mine would be Baby Ruth.
What's wrong with Baby Ruth?
I hated those.
You know what? I don't
or
know.
the Junior Mints, the chocolate.
Junior Mints? Junior Mints are great.
I don't like this.
Oh, you're insane.
Well, glad to know that none of those are my number 1. This is the most basic, worst candy I think I could ever think of. Number 1, fucking candy corn.
I've never seen anyone actually give out candy corn at trick-or-treating.
You would think.
I've seen little baggies of it. Not just candy corn, like out in the open, but little bags of it.
6 years old, I think I went as like a snowman, and I got candy corn. And you know what the fun part was? I stuck. Exactly, right?
I mean, Christmas is his favorite holiday, to be fair.
That's true.
Dude, I didn't have a say in my costume. I was 6, but they put I put them as my teeth to make my snowman costume look scarier. I took one bite of it, literally threw it, and I literally went to go grab eggs. Even at that young age, I knew that person made the dumb fucking mistake
You
of
did
giving
not
me
grab
candy corn.
eggs.
I went to go grab eggs. I went into the fridge because I had watched movies prior on Halloween and saw when kids got bad candy, they got eggs. So being an impressionable child, I followed suit, and I believe my parents were just like, "What are you doing?" And I just said, "Bad, bad, bad."
A little snowman just saying bad, with an egg in his
Fucking
hand.
Aw, I could have just pictured the image of that.
What do you think of the circus peanut candies?
Those are terrible.
See, I never got those.
I would never get those either, but just in general.
Those
like,
are god-awful.
Those might be the worst
General,
candies.
I assume they're fucking terrible. I know that a lot of like bad candy lists, like that's normally number 1, but like I said, I was never presented it because I think people at least had the wherewithal to be like, nah, we're not doing that to them. But yeah, candy corn, you can go fuck yourself because that's absolutely awful.
Grind Project says he can picture you being a snowman about a year ago.
Yeah.
Probably a year ago, not when you were a little kid.
Also, that Elsas guy says, "Fuck you, Austin, fight me."
Oh, is he a candy corn fan?
Apparently.
John, come on, man.
Yeah, apparently all of the candies that you listed as the worst Halloween candies he actually enjoys. So.
No, that's just bad. All right, since we are short pressed on a little bit of time, I want a big selection. So let's move on to our great All right, guys. The great thing I love about Halloween is it has given so many iconic horror villains in the world that I love and I cherish. And it's just a great part of what makes me the sick fuck that I am today. I love every aspect. So right now, the 3 of us are going to draft our horror movie villains. And I'm assuming since you're nodding your head, Foreigner has already made the draft.
Oh, it was quick, yeah.
There's a couple comments too, though.
Oh yeah, a couple ones.
Go ahead,
First off, Miss Morgan in the chat says candy corn rules. So that's another person that disagrees with you, bud. This LSS guy has 2. First off, says big candy corn guys. Mom gets him a bag every single year. Shout out to that. Also, Austin watched The Shining for the first time yesterday. Overrated. 4 out of 10.
What the fuck?
True?
No.
And Miss
That
Morgan
movie's
extended her
fucking great.
Tier 1 subscription.
Yeah.
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Morgan.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
Grind
thank
Project in the.
Awesome. What did you just do right there?
I tried to snap. It was bad.
That did not go well. Grind Project in the chat already gave us the draft. It is Vo, then Austin, then me.
All right, Vo.
Why did I have to go
You
first?
are first for
It
your
can't-
horror villains.
Can't be that
ranking.
hard for you
Can't
to
be
pick.
that hard.
No.
All right, I'll go first then. Thank you, Foreigner. When you think Halloween, you think the movie Halloween and Michael Myers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's where
he's gonna be my first
that's-
pick.
Literally the epitome of evil.
That is the proper number 1 rank thing. So I was wondering if you were going to take it, considering you don't spend too much time inside. But you know, I'm glad that you have the wherewithal.
Are we doing 4? I have it set up for 4.
Yeah,
Is
4.
4 good?
Yeah, we'll do
fine.
4.
Okay.
We'll do
Fine,
4.
yeah.
All right. So since Michael Myers is out of the way, I will go to probably the next best thing to essentially that gave people nightmares walking. A nightmare speaks for itself. Give me Freddy Krueger, the man with knives for fingers. Just a wonderful, wonderful character brought up by Robert Englund acting. It's just so great to see horror and comedy come together. It's just beautiful. Wes Craven, rest in peace. You are fantastic at coming up with that film.
I knew he's your favorite. I knew that was coming.
Well, you took Michael, so I literally had no other
Yeah, that's
choice.
And obviously, I will go with the next most obvious one. He loves to prey on teenagers in the woods and also at Camp Crystal Lake. Give me Jason Voorhees.
Yeah. Those are the top 3, I would assume, when everyone thinks of horror films. Those are the 3 that people assimilate with. And Greg, again, glad that you were able to. I'm glad that you're able to find your way, because I know these horror things are not your thing, but I'm glad to see you with it.
Yeah, I can kind of make it work if I have to, so it wouldn't be too bad.
Alrighty, though, you're up, good sir.
I'm gonna go with this one. Actually, freaked me out as a little kid, and still freaks me out today. We're gonna go with Chucky.
Yeah, that's a good one. Again, it was Child's Play was the first horror film I ever watched. It was accidentally. I was 5 years old, and I walked in and I said, "Oh, this movie's about a toy. That's kind of cool."
Yeah.
Then the toy started fucking murdering people. So it gave me the wherewithal to know that horror exists, and for that, I always have to give a nods up to Chucky and Child's Play. Good pick, though. Mine is going to be one on a little bit of the more modern side, I guess you could say, in the 2000s. It's literally the epitome of horror and Halloween wrapped into a parody that works. Give me Ghostface from Scream.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate this one too, because this one, I don't think this one's supernatural either, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Ghostface is just someone that decides to have a knife and kill people.
Yep, just seen one too many horror movies, goes off the deep end. So, All right, Greg.
Mine, I'm gonna go with something more timely because it was just brought back into pop culture. Give me Candyman.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I haven't watched the new one, and I've heard really good things. I really need to get on that. The original Candyman, the story, the movie, the essence of it, it brought such a terrifying feeling to people that it was just great. Though.
Another one that freaks me out, Pennywise, the clown.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great one.
I've never really been a fan of clowns. And like I said on a couple of other shows, mimes freak me out more than clowns do because they don't say anything.
They're classic, comedies, things that I've watched have been like some mime on mime murder, which has been hilarious. Like it's like someone just goes like a finger gun and just boom, and then they fall down and there's blood, and I'm like, that's not real. What the hell? What's going on? Like, that's a great selection, Vo. I'm gonna probably go with one of the more infamous people on the list. He was just great. Give me Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
That's a great one, bud. Not even not supernatural, not overpowering or anything, but psychological wise, it's great.
Oh yeah, so amazing. I love all the Hannibal films, and even love the Hannibal show. I think it's still on Netflix. I don't know if it is, but you guys should check that out too, because it's just mind-boggling as fuck. It's amazing.
For my third one, give me the Deformed, give me the Fucked Up Family Life, give me the Inbred, that is Leatherface.
Yeah, look, I know, I'm as great as that individual is, I have a hard time liking it just because of how it seems like after the first one, the films just went downhill after. Like, there really hasn't been
any horror franchise though, bud.
Yeah, but other ones I keep watching. These ones I'm like, yeah, I'm not really that much of a fan of, like I get it, I do, but it's not my thing.
Bo, what you got for your last one?
All right, so my last one, I would consider him a horror villain.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys would, but we recently watched You on Netflix.
Wow.
So I'm gonna take Joe Goldberg as my fourth.
Wow, that is interesting.
Because he is,
I know,
he is a monster.
Let me say this, though. I don't hate it. That's very creative in an aspect of trying to modernize the horror genre. Yeah, I would classify that more suspenseful, but I like the pick.
He's a killer.
I'm not gonna hate it.
I don't know if you've watched the show. Have you watched the show?
I know of it, but yeah, no, I don't watch it. Yeah.
I loved just how great that show has been. I haven't actually watched season 3 because I'm trying to get Bree caught up with the first 2 seasons, and then we're going to watch season 3 together. So I don't know if she's on board yet. She's watched like 2 episodes, so if she takes much longer, I'm going to have to just go in and do it myself. I am going to finish off mine with this one. And it's interesting because he technically hasn't killed anybody, but is considered a horror villain. And that is one Jigsaw.
That's pretty good, actually.
That is a good pick.
Right?
Yeah.
He sets the traps and he has the people decide for themselves, live or die, make your choice. So he technically hasn't murdered anyone. It's all based on the choices of the individual, which I think is more scary than people actually realize. And Greg, your final one.
I've never seen any of these movies, but I am aware of the villain because of how terrifying he looks. Give me Pinhead.
Yep. The Hellraiser franchise is great. Not one of my most favorite horror franchises, but I still enjoy. I need to. Have you been playing Dead by Daylight?
No, I haven't downloaded it yet.
I did see I saw a commercial or a trailer for it on IGN that he is now part of the game.
Yes. Which is why I'm saying I need to start like saving up a little bit so I can purchase that collection for that game, because I've seen gameplay of him and he is very, very interesting enough to play. But like, there's so many horror characters that we can go into, man, and it's just wonderful. I love this aspect at Halloween time. There's always, when people remember the greats, these are them. So
I'm just gonna say 2 comments said that I won that debate. Even though 400 didn't like my last pick, he's saying I won the debate. That Alsace guy said Vo wins. Joe Goldberg is terrifying. He will steal your girl and her too.
No, and kill her too. Which in hindsight is pretty hilarious when you think about it.
It is. Yeah, Vo, I like the pick. I don't know. It's up for debate, I guess. Which is why
it's a great debate.
And it's true.
I know. And that's why we're going to put these on social. You're going to tell us who won. And we'll get into now. Normally would be the time we would take a commercial break. But since we've had plenty of commercial time due to some incidents on my end of internet, we are going to go jump straight into our top 10 ranking of the evening. All right, people. This is it. This is almost my bread and butter. This is my wheelhouse, and this is what we're going into. Halloween time is the perfect time because you get to sit down and you get to watch most of these just Halloween classics. And I want to bring up, there are not just horror films on this list for people that are aware. So just putting that out there.
I'm going to say 2 things real quick, bud. Number 1, I'm going to laugh my ass off if every single pick on this is just a Halloween movie. Like Halloween, like Michael Myers, like Halloween movie.
That would have been funny.
That would have been funny as hell. Number 2, if you have It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown on here, I will lose my mind because I love that thing. Just saying.
It was...
We talked about at the beginning of bubbles being burst. Here's one for you, Greg. Right. The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is not officially a movie.
I know. I'm just saying.
I thought you were gonna say it's number 11.
I was gonna say if it's number, I got nothing wrong with that. I love that. I know it's not a movie, but still, like that's near and dear to my heart.
I got you.
See, that could be a tradition. You watch that every year.
Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, yeah, that could be a tradition.
That's your tradition.
I'll be cool with that, yeah.
That's your tradition. There you go. Let's start off this list, gentlemen. Number 10, a movie that caused so much controversy that the film crew was arrested right after they made this film because they thought it was real footage. It is still one of the in my mind, one of the scariest movies to even debate on. Number 10, The Blair Witch Project.
Okay. I still haven't seen this one, so.
Though you got it. You have to. This is basically one of the earliest, maybe the earliest found footage film of horror.
I think it is.
That I can. Yep. The story is very simple. There is a legend of a Blair Witch that is in the area of this town. These 3 individuals who are making a documentary about it go and explore, only to realize that these legends might be more true than you are meant to believe. This movie is absolutely terrifying just because it feels fucking real. It feels so real. I mean, you get that when I said literally the entire the director, and I think some of the crew were legitimately arrested because they thought that they had killed off these 3 kids. It is mind-blowing, to say the least. The aspect of just holding your breath, not knowing what's going to happen, and waking up and there's all these different figurines in places that look like stick figures and witches. It's so terrifying. Though, if you had to see this, it is on streaming services. Please go watch this, because I guarantee you, I don't know if Morgan has seen this, and if not, this has to be an activity for you guys to get through, because it is scary as fuck.
Yeah, maybe we'll watch all these this week.
Maybe.
That'll be our goal.
You probably might have seen some of these already, knowing some individuals, but we'll go into our number 9. I touched on it a little bit already. Number 9, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm assuming the original one.
Yes, the original.
Okay.
The remake was, I mean, Derek can tell you himself from his TikTok. It's fucking trash. The new one is just absolutely awful. I get what they were trying to do. It just was not the proper way to do it. But the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which I don't know if you guys know this, but Johnny Depp was in that movie. A young
Really?
Johnny Depp. Yes.
Explains why it's so creepy. He creeps me out. Always has.
What?
I don't know.
It brings you to a fact that most people believe that when you're awake is when you're most in jeopardy. But in fact, this movie features, Freddy Krueger, who comes and attacks people in their dreams. And I love what the late, great Wes Craven said when he came up with this film. He said he just started having nightmares that literally brought him out of his sleep. And he turned that into this movie. And it's incredible just seeing creativity work that way. It's just wonderful. Number 8. I know that someone might have trashed this film, and this might not look good knowing it's this low on my list, but when you see the ones ahead, you'll understand why. Number 8, The Shining.
That you just watched yesterday, according to the LSAS guy.
No, I believe he said he watched it yesterday.
Yeah, he watched it the other day.
The Shining is exactly what I want in a suspense horror film. Jack Nicholson.
He says it sucks.
No, it's good. Jack Nicholson is incredible in this film, to say the least. The haunting of the spirits that are in this hotel that they are staying at, and the overall insane that drives Nicholson to madness in this film. The character development that goes so long ways of just making him go from this seemingly normal writer to a person that is typing the same sentence over and over and over again. It's so mind-blowingly psychotic, and I love it so much for that. I believe the sentence that he types over and over again is all work and no play makes I think Johnny a dull boy. And he's supposed to be writing this book, and there are 100 pages of just the same sentence over and over and over again. It's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling knowing this film.
According to this LSS guy, he says it sucks. Kubrick is a fraud. He fucked up this movie, and he fucked up the moon landing.
God.
Jack, a doll boy.
Jack, thank you, Jack, a doll boy. Yes. Well, in the interest of then, for one, Mr. Elsas, we'll move on to one that is going to be, I think, hated for being so low. I see the night of the ability of it. It wasn't my movie. I preferred other ones. Number 7, Hocus Pocus.
Oh, you're gonna get some heat on that one, bud.
I know.
People are not gonna agree with that one.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I get it. Okay, I get it. I really do. There were other films that I enjoyed watching so much better, and you'll see that as we go through. But Hocus Pocus, it's still a good film. It's still a good film. But the thing is that I can watch all these other ones not during Halloween and be fine with it. If I see somebody watching Hocus Pocus and it's not Halloween, I'm gonna fight you, because it doesn't need to be seen anywhere else besides Halloween.
I'm gonna clip that just so people know.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good film. I just don't know.
I feel like you have to watch it during Halloween though, at least once. Like it's one of those movies.
Well, again, the
on.
ranking itself is movies to watch on Halloween. So I get it. I just prefer other movies ahead of this one.
Feelings on the sequel that will be coming out for it soon.
Yeah, I'm interested. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch it again. But again, I watched it I think a couple of days ago, and I was just like, really? Okay. Number 6. I took this guy in my horror villains. It is the epitome of why horror and Halloween is what it is today, just based on a more modern touch. And that number 6 is Scream.
Is it the original or is it any of the ones?
Original.
Okay.
But I know that the newest one is set to drop soon. The trailer came out. Steph had showed me it, and it made me so excited that this franchise was still going. Scream, the best part about it is that this can literally happen to anybody. It's just someone that is obsessed with horror to the point where they make it reality. They can't separate fact from fiction. And if they can, they don't really care. They want to see bloodshed. And that's what I enjoyed, especially with just the amount of horror knowledge that went into this film. Again, another Wes Craven directed project, just absolutely wonderful with the knowledge that this killer, the first scene alone with Drew Barrymore is absolutely stunning, that he kills off the boyfriend and makes her play horror trivia with him in order for her to stay alive. I loved that. Made me as a horror fan love horror even more, knowing that it was in this. Number 5. Who are you gonna call?
Yes.
Ghostbusters, number 5.
Austin, I love this movie so much. I'm also very excited for Afterlife, like a proper sequel. Not give credit to what Melissa McCarthy and them tried to do with like a remake. It was cool and all, but a proper sequel to Ghostbusters, I'm very excited for. But the original Ghostbusters is a phenomenal movie.
I still just when I spill something on myself, I'll just be like, slime me. It's just a classic.
Austin, real quick, what I love about this too is that Bill Murray did not want to do this movie at all.
That's another reason why.
He really had to be pressured into doing this movie because he wanted to do another one that ended up being a box office bomb, and the studio told him they will only finance that one if he decides to do Ghostbusters. But what's cool about Ghostbusters is that the majority of his dialogue is all ad-lib.
Oh yeah. It's just amazing. Yeah. They really gave him the wheel of direction. But going from just the different ghosts, from the Griffin ghost to Slimer to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's just absolutely wonderful to see a more comedic twist put on your average, Halloween film. And it is
Elsa says it doesn't have to be Halloween to watch this one.
But I would argue though it's perfect on Halloween.
Oh,
to
for
watch.
sure, yeah.
It is perfect on Halloween, but he is exactly correct. You don't have to watch this during Halloween, and that's another reason why it's so high, and I love it. Number 4. One of the most iconic horror films of all time. I thought I was watching the original and turned out to be number 3, which is interesting because you figure you would put this movie part 3 instead of the number 1, but it's all right because number 4, The Exorcist.
Yeah. Anytime you get into demonic possession and all that fun and creepy stuff, yeah, it's up there. I'll give you that.
Have you seen it, Vo?
Yeah, a long time ago. But,
okay.
Yeah, you don't mess with stuff like this.
Nope. There's multiple things I loved during this film, and since this Mr. LSS in the chat, he might agree with me. The score.
He says this is number 1, actually.
Yeah. So okay. The score, the filming, the production of this film was just absolutely amazing. And the dreadful makeup and prosthetics and everything that they made this girl go through for this film is fucking terrifying. It scared me quite a lot as a child. And now I find it very enjoyable to watch, especially on Halloween. We'll move into a more lighter section for our number 3. One that I recently just watched again, and it's weird because I trashed the other one, but I think that this one is the more clear-cut winner of those two. Number 3, Halloween Town.
Yeah, I think most of us can agree on
I
this
feel
one.
like we grew up with this movie
We
series.
did. We did, yeah.
This is one that
It's
I
funny-
like to watch too, so.
It's funny when you watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
And, Marnie is talking about I'm 13 years old. I know what I could basically do whatever I want. And you're young, you're like, yeah, you tell him. And as you're adult, you're like, shut the fuck up. What the fuck do you know? You're a goddamn child. And just, it's silly for me, but literally when they first went to Halloween Town, I already know who the villain was. Forgetting about it a lot and then rewatching it.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's kind of shady. And then I was like, that's pretty fucking easy to tell that, that was the villain. But it doesn't take away from just the joy that Halloween Town brought, especially with just kids, that are just into the weirdness and scariness of Halloween. This is their thing, and it was my thing, and it's still my thing. I love this movie.
And what were there 3 or 4 of them? I can't remember.
I think 4.
There are 4. I think there are 3, and then the one is Return to Halloween Town or something. I think. I can't.
Yeah, I think that's
Halloween
the 4.
Town High. Halloween Town High. I think that's what it was. Number 2. This might seem odd to some people that this is up here, but I recently just watched this, and this is I would say if number 1 wasn't number 1, this would be the perfect movie for Halloween. Trick or Treat.
I've never heard of this one, Austin, so you're going to have to do some background on this.
So essentially, this film is a mini collection of different stories that blend into one, and all about Halloween traditions. There is one where these women are almost they're trying to find dates to this party and end up being apparently stalked by this individual. There's a story of an old man that is locked up in his house that is terrorized by the thing that you see in front of you, which oddly enough is known as Sam. So you have that. You have a story where these kids go to this burial ground where a bus driver kind of he was trying to get these kids away from their parents because the parents didn't want them. And essentially what happened is the one kid freaked out and he went to try to go home and he hit the gas pedal, of the bus, and the bus drove into a lake where they all drowned. So there's that story, and there's a story of a principal that is on the verge of trying to hide his murderous tendencies, but it becomes too difficult. And all these blend into one amazing, amazing story. And it is by far the perfect Halloween movie to watch. This is available on most streaming services, so I would go check this out. Hulu, HBO Max, it's all there. This is definitely one to watch if you're in the mood for Halloween.
Okay.
And I mean, obviously, this has to be number one. I would argue probably my
Hubie Halloween, right?
Oh no!
Darn.
Sorry, that was number 11. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But this is still holds up as probably being my favorite scary movie of all time. Just how it was done. John Carpenter's original 1970s Halloween.
Not the Rob Zombie remake, not the one that came out a few years ago, but this one.
The original. And not to say those other movies aren't decently good in their own rights. I actually just recently watched Halloween Kills, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. But the original Halloween is just, it stands on its own. It's a wonderful, wonderful masterpiece of suspense, of horror, of tropes in horror films. It's just the perfect movie. And knowing that they didn't give him being Michael Myers a name originally, he's simply known as the Shape. And that's something that I always hold dear, that even the name alone originally is too frightening to put on here. You know the story itself. Boy Michael Myers kills sister, goes to a hospital for the deranged, escapes, and returns to Haddonfield to create massive amounts of carnage and murder. The thing that I love about this film is that it doesn't rely on cheap jump scares. It doesn't rely on just massive amounts of gore. It's just scary. And that's what Halloween is all about, in my honest opinion. You can go for those other things, but you're never going to quite get that feeling of suspense and of a basic frightening like you will in the original Halloween.
All right. So two comments from your top 10. Grind Project writes in, need some Child's Play on there. And Chipper writes in, no Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, surprisingly, I know. I know I joked about, QB Halloween being 11. If I had to put Psycho on this list, it would probably be number 11. That's honesty. And I know that might be tough for some people to swallow because it is a wonderful, wonderful film. But again, I can watch that film anytime and really not feel a lot like more. I can watch it on Halloween and it brings it up a little bit, but just seemingly know that I can watch it anytime kind of takes away from the experience a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So Elsass writes in an entire list of stuff. Sleepy Hollow, Casper, Friday the 13th, Sixth Sense, Edward Scissorhands, A Quiet Place, Shaun of the Dead, Addams Family,
That's
It,
a good one.
The Babysitter, The Ring, Paranormal Activity, and of course the greatest Halloween movie ever, A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'm shocked that wasn't on here.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Because that's
Nightmare
your
on
two favorite
Nightmare
holidays.
Before- I know. That one's tough because a lot of the time it gives the sense of, is it a Halloween movie? Is it a Christmas movie? I believe it's 100% a Halloween movie, but it does have that essence of Christmas in it, which maybe takes it down a little bit.
I personally don't understand why we have to pick between the two on this one. I think it's both.
We actually just watched that the other night. So I would say Halloween movie.
I say it's both, honestly.
But I mean, those are my top 10. We could list how many under the sun, and people will probably have a decent argument to make, which is why, again, these are going to get put on social. You'll vote, and you'll decide if your top 10 stacks up against my top 10. Doubtful, but I love a good challenge. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all the internet issues and having to speed ahead, I gratefully appreciate you all tuning in to the RankKing's Court Halloween special. We are always here, 6:30 on Twitch for Tuesdays. I love doing this. Again, this is my bread and butter, along with horror, but again with ranking. It's just such a great thing to do. And I'm happy that I have you two along for this chaotic ride that we call a show.
Yeah, we will also make sure that after this weekend we'll post a picture of the three of us in our costumes just to see for all the people.
And I think I need to go buy some candy for Austin.
You're gonna have to at this point, yeah.
Some of the good kind.
Swear to God, you get me fucking candy corn, I'm gonna rip you apart. Swear to God.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a safe and happy Halloween. Make sure to look for your candy for razor blades or apparently weed gummies, because that's something I didn't know either.
People are gonna hand those out.
That's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, Chip.
Happy Halloween. Tune in to us always, like I said, Tuesdays, 6:30 on Twitch. Happy Halloween. Be safe. Court is adjourned.
Court is adjourned.